Hello, my name's Elio. The Admiral calls me something else, and the grandkids call me Grumpy. Now, I hope you've watched the previous videos on the countryside here at Kingaroy. This will be our last video as we're heading back to Brisbane, to Manly, and then through to the Gold Coast on the boat. And by the way, Emma Peel's still for sale. We're going to the Gold Coast City Marina for a slip in April. Also, we're going to have the 5-yearly survey done. So I hope you like and then we'll continue on with the videos on the boat. So hope you like the videos that we've posted up here. And thanks for watching, and we'll catch you soon. Finished our first week at a farm sitting in the cattle property back there. That was just over a 4,000 acre block. We're on our way to our second farm sit now. Turn this intersection. Turn right here. We're going to a cattle property now, which is a second farm sit, and that's only 300 acres. I think he's got just under 100 head of cattle here. That's with mothers, bulls, progeny. As we're approaching this next intersection here, as you can see on the street sign there, it says Wooden Hut Road. Now we're going straight ahead, but if we were to turn right here, we would be going to Wooden Hut. Now, Wooden Hut is our old property, 1,300 acre cattle property, and back in the old day, they named the road that goes to the property after the property. So therefore, if you were to go to Wooden Hut, you take Wooden Hut Road. Okay, we're now back on the bitumen. This road here is Burrandowan Road. Now, about an hour up along this track here, maybe a little bit more, along the bitumen, they have an event every Mother's Day, and it's actually called Burrandowan Races.
It's the day before Mother's Day.
No, it's
Saturday.
Saturday, okay, well, on that weekend anyway. And a big event, similar to the Birdsville races, not as big as Birdsville, of course, but it's a fairly big event for this area. Now we're just arriving at our second property, our second farm sit. This is a beautiful little block. Gary and Josie have done a great job here. Nice high block. He's planted a lot of fruit trees. Well organised, well maintained. They're going on holiday at the moment.
Well earned. Well
earned, of course. It's always well earned when you work a property. As you can see, he's got everything beautifully in order here. He's got his tractors in there. A little quad that we'll be using quite a fair bit, that one there.
Gorgeous bush garden.
Yeah.
And Josie's lovely roses, which are probably at the end of their season.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just take you on a tour of the garden, or the house yard. Excuse me. One of the small paddocks through there. It's an old horse yard. Beautiful high block here. When that rain clears, you can actually see up there That's our old block up there. Oh, wooden hut. Just over 1 kilometre wide and 7 kilometres long. Everybody's got a fire pit up here. Sit around the fire at night. Nice big pit. Nice and green at the moment. We've had a lot of rain. Well, one thing I can say is we get plenty of eggs up here. Our last farm sit the other day, or just when we left earlier, we're getting eggs every day. They've got half a dozen chooks here. We get eggs from these as well, and we let them out after in the mid-afternoon. They get free range of the whole yard. These are the fruit trees that he's planted. There's limes, lemons, oranges. All the water tanks are full, they're overflowing, which is good. Got to watch out for snakes. Apparently there's a lot of snakes out at the moment. And the nasty ones. Oranges. Little veggie garden here. Heaps of pumpkins. Little one. Oh, there's a nice one. I'll just uncover this so it gets a bit more rain. Onions, peas, capsicum, tomatoes. What else have you got in here? Rock melon, grapes, or grapevine. You won't get grapes until January. Oh, these are starting to yellow up a bit. What's we got here? Oranges. Got a lot of king parrots out here. We actually feed them every morning. Put some bird seed out. What's going on here? A bit of water in there. It's okay. Oh, what have we got here? Rock melon. Well, that's a good size rock melon. Yeah, and that's this block. I'll show you around the paddocks when we take the quad out later. We've got cattle to check. Heap of calves. They've got a heap of calves here at the moment. Yeah, Gary was saying that The snakes are out and about at the moment. There's a lot of little ones about a foot long, maybe just a little bit longer, so he's seen quite a few. So they're being all hatched, I suppose, or they are. The brown snakes do lay eggs. So yeah, the car's a bit of a mess. And that's about it, folks. Oh, there's a Tangelo tree. So they're pretty self-sufficient here. They got their own meat, chooks, eggs, veggies, and the Tangelo tree. Beautiful. Well, this is a daily ritual. The girls get let out. Well, they stay in this enclosure all day, like they're not in boxes or anything like that. And then only ever night time that they get put into the roosting shed there. That's just to protect them from the dogs and foxes and whatever. But anyway, guys, just look how happy they are when they get out, when they're allowed out. Look at this. Come on, they usually jump. Here we go, into the green stuff. But yeah, they're never locked up or, like I said, this is the enclosure that they're in all day. And then they got the run of the whole, wherever they want to go. I've already collected eggs this morning. Just watch out for those little slithering things that normally get around here. This is their little home. Oh, no more eggs. Oh well. I got 4 this morning out of the 6 chooks. It's all right. Plenty of feed. Fresh water. Beautiful. They're out now till the rest of the afternoon. Come nightfall, I'll just guide them back into the pen here and into their roosting boxes. Yep. Come on! We do this twice a day as well. These are their personal animals. They get fed grain twice a day. They're like pets. Come on. Look at it. Come on.
He doesn't know me.
Oh, that's why he's standing back.
Yeah. Come on. Come on. Hi, boys. Hello, boys. Hi, boys. How much grain do they have each?
2 of these each. Twice a day.
Might have to go up there with the bucket for him. He's not coming.
No, he'll come in. He can't be fed with the others because
I know.
He steals their food too.
Yeah, I know, but he's got to come in first, doesn't he?
Yes, darling.
Where's his bucket?
I got it, yeah. And he plays with the... Come on. Hey. Come on.
Comes.
Come on. He's normally waiting at the gate. And these 2 guys, we take their feed over there to the feeder way over there. See the feeder over there? The reason being is because this guy eats quickly, the one in here, and then he races over and steals their food. But here he comes now, he just walked in.
Good boy. Beautiful boy.
This is the temperament of all the animals on this property. Even the ones that are out in the paddock that get fed on they feed on grass.
Because they're handled right from when they're babies, they're very quiet. And during the... Oh, look, he's got a bit of buffalo fly.
Buffalo fly. They just braid them.
Usually he's looking at you taking the grain away.
Yeah, I'm taking the grain away.
Yeah. They also usually hand feed them oranges. They absolutely love the oranges, don't they?
Yeah, they're all green at the moment, so.
Yeah, no oranges.
These guys come round every morning for a feed. King parrots. The males are the ones with the bright red on them. That's a female there in the middle. Male on the top with the bright red around its head and neck, and a female next to it. So there's two pairs there. Two pairs. One male, one female for each pair. King parrots, they're known as. Beautiful they are. They come around every morning for a feed and go back to the Bunya Mountains and back the following morning. I don't know if you can see next to the tank there, but yeah, a couple of little wallabies came for a visit as well. One's around the corner from that green tank. Actually, they're little wallabies. Yeah, they're not roos. Come in for the green pick. Just as long as they stay out of the veggie garden, eh? At the cattle yards at the moment, these cattle yards are operational, but shortly we'll show you some older ones down the back. They're going to have to redo them. This is where all the cattle come to have their injections or sprayed for flies or whatever.
Or remember when they had the babies, and because the mother's teats were too big, when the babies were first born, they couldn't latch on?
That's right, the babies couldn't latch onto the teats, so that what we had to do was actually milk the cows. We could only just get our hands around the cow's teeth and actually milk them, and so they became smaller, so that then we had to put the baby's mouth physically, put the baby's head under the cow and put the teeth in its mouth, so it started sucking. That was only for a week or so, then the baby got the hang of it, so, you know.
You really appreciate quiet beef cattle when you can hand milk them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that doesn't always happen, folks. Anyone that knows anything about cattle?
Yeah. This is a hardwood plantation in one of the paddocks on the block now. Back in 2007, the then DPI, Department of Primary Industries, I think the minister was Tim Mulherron, I'm not sure, but I think it was Tim Mulherron. They started a scheme where they planted these trees on the blocks, and they actually paid the farmers to put the trees on the blocks. Now, the idea was to, in the South Burnett and Burnett region, the idea was to, and they did do this, cultivate 196,000 hectares and planted 7 million trees. Now, these are hardwood trees. And when they're in fully matured, obviously used for hardwood timber, but when they're big enough, they can also be used for power poles. Now, they did plant 7 million trees, and the trees actually put nutrients back into the soil. It was a good way of diversification also for the farmer or the grazier. Now, this type of tree actually, if I remember correctly, takes 1.5 tonne of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere per year. That's one tree. But anyway, hey?
Wow.
Yeah, that's I remember the stats. Nicely cleared. He actually runs cattle through here, so there's only 8 head in here of heifers, so we'll catch up with them shortly. But it's nicely cleared. There is a section where they've harvested further back. and this is a younger generation of tree here. But the other section they've harvested because was an older section.
The good part too about these trees, by the look of it, is they don't have lower branches.
No, that's why they're good for power plants.
Yeah, so they've got no. They don't provide fuel in a fire.
Exactly on the ground. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. If you can see here, there's a little green pasture here with a little red tinge on top. That's sorghum. That's sorghum. That's cattle feed that they put in for the cattle. Also, past that, there's a line of trees. Now, approximately 1.5 kilometres wide and 7 kilometres long that way, past the trees in the horizon, is our old property wooden hut. Now, we did have relatives come over from Italy and they stayed with us. And in Italian terminology, they couldn't believe how big the property was. Obviously not in Australian terminology, it's a small property. And so they said to me one day, "Oh, can we go to Ayers Rock today and come back tonight?" They don't realise how big Australia is, you know. And they said, "No, I don't think we could do it in a day." And I explained to them why. These are the old timber yards. No, they've been here 100 years, I reckon. They're doing up. They're doing a lot of new fencing here, so it'll be a second yards. They've kept these because that's going to be part of their breeding herd down the track.
Hi girls, how are you?
Had a lot of rain up here in the past since we took over on Monday. Just check one of these gauges. Wow. 25 mil, that's an inch. So that's another inch. All up since we took over on Monday, we've had 50 mil, just under 50 mil, which is 2 inches in the old term. That's why she's looking all green. Beautiful. As you can see here, well, all of this area, there used to be peanut country years ago. As you can see, every now and then there's a contour this way, darling.
See the contour there?
Yeah, and it comes all the way through here. That's to stop water from flowing downhill. And
water
it actually,
soil.
The water. It stops the water and it disperses the water to the ends of the contour, so it stops erosion down into the paddocks. But it's all cattle country now. You can see, beautiful and green now because of all the rain, but all of these paddocks now are spare. They're spelling. There's no cattle in them. Because it's a 300-acre block, it's a small block, and they've got 100 head of cattle here with progeny and that, and the bull. He actually manages the paddocks. I mean by that, he rotates the paddocks, rotates the animals. And so each paddock, as the animals get rotated, each paddock gets a spell.
Has an opportunity to regenerate.
Regenerate, correct.
Yeah, so 7 weeks.
Yeah, so each paddock, as the cattle gets rotated, the paddock that they were in is spelled for 7 weeks. Let's go and find the main herd.
Hey guys! Hello! How is everyone? Yes, hello bubbies. Yes, I know. You're good girls.
Come on!
Hey?
Come on! This is the main herd. These guys, we don't have to chase them. They're so well behaved. They've been handled well since birth. They actually come to us, so we just have to stand here and count.
Hello, girls. How are you?
In this paddock, we've got 58 cows.
There's the bulb there. You can just see him poking his big head up.
58 cows, 58 calves.
And one bull.
We got 57 all up.
Here's the little babies. Hi guys. Hello bubbies. Oh, looking good. Yes, we don't have any oranges. No, they love oranges. Hey? Don't you? Yeah, you're spoiled. Yes. Well, come on, where's your baby? Where's your baby? Call Bubby.
No one calling out. Everybody seems to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lovely when you've got quiet cattle. Hello, darling. How are you? Hello. Hello, Bubby. Hey. Hello, mate. Hello, mate. There's the big fella. Hello, sweetheart. You're the one that really likes the oranges. She loves oranges, this one. Hi, mate. See you later. Bye, kids. We haven't got anything for you today, no. You don't need feed. Look at all the feed you've got in the paddock. No.
Cattle get a feed of that later. They actually let them into the paddock and they strip feed it. So they'll put a makeshift or a fence across and they'll move it every day so the cattle just don't stampede over it or crush it, because they're all vying for the best mouthful, I suppose. So you'll just put a fence or a makeshift fence along and they'll just strip feed it day by day.
This is the water for the main herd. A few little wild ducks on the dam. These two little ones here, they're twins.
Hello. Yeah, have a look. Get your photo taken.
Where's Mummy?
Of the whole herd on the block, under 2 weeks old. The ear tag's bigger than the ear.
A little cutie, aren't you? And here comes the boss. He's had to take the tractor out for some reason this morning, so we'll find out what that was about. Morning. Been out early this morning on the tractor.
Dragged the grain bin along with the cattle feed. It's got a bit boggy and I was standing in the wet, so I just moved it at 20-30 feet. Stand in the wet.
Okay, early job done.
Yep,
Must be time for
breakfast. Oh, we got a nice crop of peanuts here. Just across the road from where we're actually farm sitting. We've had 60 mil of rain since last Monday, so it'll give it a push along. Nice red soil country. Peanuts, just a small bush like that, they don't get much higher. And the nuts actually grow underground. Nice crop. Yes, it is a closed industry. They do use machinery that straddle the bush, and only the leaves are used. Everything's exported overseas. It's not processed in Australia, just harvested here. And yeah, it's all sent overseas and processed by pharmaceutical companies. And you say that's what we do.
there's the gorgeous bush garden again. And here we are, heading back.
And that's what we do every day. Just go out in the quad, check the cattle, make sure they're safe.
Check the water.
Check the water, make sure they've got water. Check the fences, make sure they're not down. Just generally make sure they're happy. That's it. Put the quad away and go in for a coffee. Coffee! Hold on, I'm going to do a wheelie. Am I going to make it?